you go through a lot, when you want to start something but you don't feel confident enough because of your insecurities, you go through a lot, trust me. And the 13-minute or 20-minute video that we release at the end of the day, it doesn't show everything. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and thank you so much for joining me. If it is your first time here, and on this channel we chat about all things related to managing your money and adulting in general. So if that sounds like your type of vibe, please make sure that you check out our other videos, and if you like what you see, don't hesitate, smash that subscribe button and become a member of the team. So today we are talking about all the reasons why I hesitated to start my YouTube channel. Basically, in a nutshell, why I was scared to start my YouTube channel, because that's the honest truth. I was scared to start my YouTube channel. So that's what we're going to get into today. And then before we even go there, guys, we are monetized. Boo, 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 boo. Our channel is monetized. Somebody said to me on Instagram that now we are going to get money talking about money. And you know what? That's valid. That is absolutely valid. And I'm super excited. And obviously, I have no one else to thank but you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you in advance for not skipping the ads. Thank you for your engagement, which I personally enjoy the most. I really appreciate the fact that you guys rallied behind this goal of mine that I wanted to achieve by the end of June. And you said end of June, girl, we don't need 4 weeks, we need 2 weeks, and we'll sort it out for you. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to start today's conversation by saying I appreciate each and every one of you and the support that you give me on this journey. And this is the journey that I am going to talk about today. Guys, I thought about today's conversation and I said to myself that so often people talk about what are some of the things that you need in order to start a YouTube channel? What are some of the things that you need to do in order to make your YouTube channel successful and to grow on YouTube and all of those things? And seldom do people really dig in deep and talk about some of the fears that they had when thinking about starting a YouTube channel, some of the insecurities they had when they thought about starting a YouTube channel. And the more I think about this conversation, the more I realize that it's not only about starting a YouTube channel, it's actually about starting anything new. It is not easy, guys, at all. And if you've recently started something new, or you've started something new sometime before, you know that this is not an easy journey, and there's very few people who really are honest about and have like a vulnerable conversation about starting something new, especially if that something new involves putting yourself in front of people and putting your heart out there and your thoughts out there as well. And that's what I want us to dig into today. And another thing that motivated me to have this conversation, even if it's going to help one person or two people, is I don't know if you guys are familiar, which I'm sure you are because they're quite big YouTubers. Yours from yours channel and Ukugu, who's _Guguletu, I think, right? So Ukugu talks a lot about her journey. She talks a lot about her past, and yours also has a lot of real conversations about her struggles and her accomplishments and all of that stuff. And every time I watch their content, I walk away thinking, sure, I needed that. This validated my feelings. This made me feel like I'm not abnormal for feeling the way that I do, that my feelings are warranted, that my feelings are okay. And I always walk away from their deep conversations feeling a lot better. But I also walk away often thinking, that's great, I gained from that, but that's not my portion. I'm not going to go there. That's not for me, because I really struggle in real life to talk about my feelings. And I also struggle, obviously, on a platform to go more on the emotional side. But I thought this would be the perfect time because we've just got to the monetization goal, and you guys are responsible for that. And I really wondered how many people are sitting out there thinking, yo, that's never going to be me, because I'm too scared and I'm too worried and I'm too insecure and I feel like I'm not good enough and all of those things. So enough about the context. You guys know that I love laying the ground, but I just wanted to give that context before I begin. So I've jotted down a few things that honestly were the reason why I delayed to start my YouTube channel, or were the reason behind me almost not starting my YouTube channel at all. The first thing was the Abantu Bazothini syndrome. Yo guys, I was so worried about what people are going to say and what people are going to think about my content, to a point where I delayed starting my YouTube channel quite a bit. So I started being heavily involved in YouTube in the beginning of 2020, and I started consuming a lot of YouTube content. And by mid-2020, I already knew that this is something that I really want to do, that I want to get into. And then I started using different excuses like, oh, I'm busy. And I knew that I was going to, get married, or at least commence with the journey at the end of the year. So I used that as an excuse. I was like, no, I'm going to get, there's lobola negotiations at the end of the year, which means I'm going to get married early next year. I'm not going to have enough time. I don't want to, come up here using my maiden surname and then change to my husband's surname. I made all of these excuses of why I was not ready to start a YouTube channel. But you know what the truth is? I was scared. I was terrified as hell to start a YouTube channel. That's the reality. And the big thing for me was, what are people going to say? Number one, when I say Abantu Bazothini, by Abantu, I'm referring to, number one, my family. So I come from a very traditional Christian family, and I obviously share the same values. You guys know that I've mentioned it on the channel. But at the same time, I knew that there's certain things that I want to speak about and that I want to be vocal about that may not necessarily be easily accepted. In fact, even me saying this now is making me so nervous, because I know that my family watches my channel. Not only my cousins, but also older people as well. And for a great time, I spent a lot of time, thinking about, what if there's a controversial topic that I want to discuss, or an opinion that I want to share that might not necessarily align with what I was taught, or what I was told to believe, then that might be an issue. The second thing is, I thought about, I'm recently married, I'm a new bride, and I've got in-laws, I've got my husband to think about, and Mr. M, guys, is like super antisocial. Antisocial makes it seem like he doesn't like people, but I mean that he's not on any social media. He doesn't care for social media. He is a very private person. He doesn't want to talk about his private life or share anything. And that was my other concern, how will he feel about me being out there and having crucial conversations about topics that I'm passionate about? Yes, my channel is educational, but I also have adulting content where I invite other people on the platform who share their own opinions. So my thing was, what happens when somebody comes onto the platform and they share an opinion that doesn't necessarily, align with what people think should be said, or, is allowed, and all of those things. And then I also thought about my corporate career. So I'm not your YouTuber who is like, I want to quit YouTube one day, and I want to quit my 9 to 5 one day and become a full-time YouTuber. I'm not that person, guys. Woo, I am not that person. Also, AdSense doesn't make sense. So I don't know why I would quit purely for YouTube personally. I'm sure other people are making money out there. But for me, when I do the calculations, I don't know. I don't know if YouTube will ever match my salary. I highly doubt. And that's okay with me, because I love my job. I love my corporate career. I'm doing very well in that space. It's something that I enjoy and I'm passionate about as well. And I thought about, what will my colleagues say? What will, and it's an industry thing, not necessarily, it wasn't about my employer or my colleagues. It was just about the industry that I work in. It's not the most fun, creative industry. So I was like, okay, cool. How will that land? And 1 minute I'm in a boardroom kicking, being a corporate baddie and kicking boardroom A. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How will that land? It might not land the same with different people. So those are the things that I was concerned about under Abantu Bazothini, and that delayed me a lot. And to be honest, guys, today's video is not necessarily to dive into how I began to overcome that. I honestly just want to stick to sharing where I was, so that you know that if you are worried about the same things, it's okay. If you are worried about what your friends are going to say, what your family is going to say, what your colleagues are going to say, that's an okay feeling to have. And I think it's normal, to be honest, but we don't speak about these things often enough. The one group I wasn't worried about were my friends. My friends were like super, super supportive. And also my friends, although we're not the same person, but we share a lot of similarities. So I knew that they would understand. Everybody understood, actually. My family is very supportive. My husband is very supportive. My in-laws are very supportive. My colleagues are extremely supportive of my journey. So it ended well, but though that's something that I was definitely scared of. The second thing that I was scared of, guys, was my insecurities around the fact that I felt like my profile or who I wasn't the typical type of individual that would, draw a following or trend or have a conversation. So I thought that I would be irrelevant. To put it bluntly, I was very insecure and I thought that I would be irrelevant. And the reason for that is because the people that I know of who've made a huge success of YouTube, especially in my niche, are either, number one, people who've made really bad financial mistakes. So they have taken credit cards beyond measure. They had to sell their cars, their houses. They were broke, slept on a couch, lost their, the journey started from that point, and then they made their way up from there. And I don't have that story. Like, I don't have a lot of financial mistakes. I don't have I put my credit card in the red and had to sleep on the couch, and I had to sell my car and all of those things. My money savvy journey began at quite an early age, and I thank my mom for that, mostly because she influenced most of my financial decisions, and she taught me most of what I went into adulthood knowing. So I don't have those mistakes, and I felt like I'm boring. Like, I don't have I maxed out my credit card, or I had to sell my car story that's going to trend. So, no one will care type of thing, in terms of what I want to share. And I also noticed that other people who were really doing well were people who were, doing unboxings, like luxury unboxings, or saying that this is how you make money because I've made it. I drive a nice car. I've got this and I've got that. And they were multimillionaires, and people would follow them for money advice because they know what they're saying, right? Because they've got this wealth that you can clearly see, or they've got these riches that they're able to display. And I'm not like that. I'm not a flashy person. I'm not a person who likes talking about, I bought this, I've got an investment property, and all of those things. I will talk about certain things from a point of educating, but I won't sit down and break down my balance sheet and tell you guys what I'm worth. So I felt like, you're just going to see this lady and you're going to be like, this one, she's talking about money, but where's the money? Like, we want to see it. We want to see rings, gold rings, diamond rings, and a Gucci and all of that stuff. So, again, my conversation wouldn't land because you don't see what I've achieved, and I don't want you to focus on those things. So I don't share them. Like I said, I do share some things, but it's always from an educational point of view. So I was a bit worried about that as well. The fact that I was neither here nor there. I'm not this person who wants to become a big YouTuber one day. I'm a corporate person building a career while doing this because she's passionate about it. And I felt like, my profile is not exciting enough and I probably won't grow and all of those things. So that's something else that I faced that really made me scared to start my YouTube journey. And then the third thing that also made me very scared to start my YouTube journey was aesthetics. Guys, every time I would watch a YouTube video, I would see these like a beautiful background, and I would watch vlogs and I would see like beautiful homes in the background, and oh man, I would be like, how can I create content with just a white background? Or how can I create content with a blank background? It's going to be boring, and I was missing the aesthetics part. I obviously wanted to deliver something that looked really good, but then I was like, I don't have much space. But by much space, not now, I mean then when I started my YouTube journey, I was like, I don't have, the cameras that have autofocus and all of those things. I'm recording from my Android phone, and I don't have, a beautiful background every single day where today I'm chatting from the kitchen and tomorrow it's the dining and the lounge, and I get to B-roll this nice stuff that looks good. And for some time I was like, it's going to be boring. I'm going to have the same background all the time because I only have good lighting from one space. In my previous apartment, which was very small, I had good lighting from one space. And I was like, okay, cool. So my background is always going to be the same. People are going to be bored. It's not going to be aesthetically pleasing and all of those things. And I was worried about that, you know. And again, I really believe that to the person who's not, a creator or who's not looking to start YouTube or whatever, all of these things might seem like really you are worried about that. But guys, you get worried about these things, honestly, and you dwell on them so much. Ask YouTubers, especially those people that have like small spaces, how much time they spend trying to find good lighting, trying to find the perfect background, trying to move couches and desks around to make sure that it's a good shot. It's not something that comes easily, and it's something that you really stress about, especially if you want to deliver something that's of quality. So that's something else that I really stressed about, guys. I was very like insecure about like the aesthetics and it looking good and all of those things. Then the next thing that I was worried about, or that stopped me from starting a YouTube channel, was wanting to be perfect, striving to be perfect, which is absolutely impossible. I know that, you know that, but at the time, it didn't seem that clear, if you get what I mean. Like, I thought, everything had to be super perfect. To a point, guys, where when I first started my YouTube channel, Mr. M and I both were figuring out the editing, and stuff like that, because it's something that I had never done before. And he used to help me edit, and he used to edit with me in the beginning, not anymore. But I used to have this obsession of removing every cough, every mistake that I made. Instead of repeating it, I'd want to remove it. I'd want to do it again if I'm recording, and I'd have like 4 takes of saying the same thing, because I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted it to be crisp. If I recorded something and I was like, oh my God, I'm not in the middle, I'm like to the left or to the right or wherever, I'd want to do it again. And that to me made me like, oh my God, when am I ever going to release these videos? And when am I going to get to a comfortable point? And the more I struggled with being perfect, the more I would make mistakes because I was nervous, and then I would have to redo it over and over again. Again, guys, we come here and we have these conversations, and you walk away thinking, oh my God, you speak so well, you're able to articulate yourself and all of those things. Meanwhile, Umtu has been doing something 3 times or 4 times before they give you the final result. And I want us to talk about that reality, because that's the truth. Yes, I'm not there now, but that's where I started. So I don't want you to feel like it's abnormal for you to feel that way, or it's abnormal for you to, record time and time again, or not feel like everything is perfect. Another thing that I struggled with, guys, when it came to perfection is my skin. So I had recently come out of a hectic, acne journey, and I still had the hyperpigmentation issues from that. In fact, I had hyperpigmentation even before the acne when I was young, and my doctor says it's because of sinuses, but I'm not sure if you've noticed, but around my eyes, it's very dark, and also my neck as well. That's my worst hyperpigmentation. If you look at my hands, and I'm not sure if the lighting makes it one tone, and if you see, but if you look at my hands and you look at my skin, you should notice, especially if I meet you in person, that there are different shades. So in the beginning, that's one of the things that I was worried about. Like, oh my God, my face is not good enough. I need to put foundation to make it blend. If you look at my videos, when I first started my journey, I used to use foundation and concealer just to try and hide the dark marks and the hyperpigmentation and all of those things. Guys, you go through a lot when you want to start something, but you don't feel confident enough because of your insecurities. You go through a lot, trust me. And the 13-minute or 20-minute video that we release at the end of the day, it doesn't show everything that we go through as well. So that's why I also wanted to have this conversation. Then another thing that I struggled with lastly when it came to starting my YouTube channel was just weighing out the time versus value thing. Guys, YouTube, I know you've heard this 1,000 times from your fellow influencers, but please allow me to be the last to repeat it to you. YouTube is not easy, and at the same time, YouTube does not pay. So YouTube requires the most amount of energy and time and effort, but it pays the least in terms of AdSense, unless you're getting sponsorship deals. but you can get more sponsorship deals on Instagram. You can grow fast on Instagram and you can make more money, right? And you spend less time and effort because it's short form content. People who are on the YouTube channel, take it from the person who speaks to you about money all the time. People who are on this channel, you need to support them if you appreciate them, because the money, guys, the money is not moneying. You really need to love this. You need to be in it because you believe in it and you love your audience and you really want to pour your heart into it. And I know that influencers are always singing the song in their videos, but they write. And you know how to tell that they write? If you notice, most influencers do Instagram and YouTube for some time, and eventually they down their YouTube and they focus on Instagram because that's where the money's at. All your faves that are disappearing from this red app, they're over there on the other red app. On the other app, it's not red, it's purple. But on the other app, because they feel like they grow faster, they get traction faster, they get more sponsorship opportunities, which means more money. So you gotta love it. And that's one of the reasons why I hesitated to start my YouTube channel, because I felt like, not me recording, planning, doing my research, especially with my content, because I need to be factual. I'm not vlogging. Doing research, doing all of those things, doing the sit down, editing it, uploading it, only to get 20 people view it and 5 likes. It's not easy, guys, and you really need to be in it if you want to do it. That's very important. So I weighed up the time versus value, and at the end of the day, I felt like because education is a big thing for me and awareness, I felt like I wouldn't get my point across clearly enough and fully on a short form platform, and that's why I love YouTube. And I also love the fact that the content is evergreen and it lives forever, and especially if your content is relevant even 3 years from now, then it matters, because some of my old content is now popping up and doing really well, and that's content that I shot more than a year and a half ago, but now it's starting to pick up because of certain seasons. You get what I mean? So you gotta love it. Like, you gotta love this platform, you gotta be into it. But all of these things you will go through, and I think these things apply to anything new in life, not only YouTube, but anything that you want to start, whether it's a venture, a business, an organization, an NPO, a cause, write a book, whatever. Like, you will go through all of these things and it won't be easy, guys. It won't be easy. I remember before I end, because that was the last thing, I remember when I first released my first video on YouTube, everybody was so excited. I was really receiving positive feedback. I was very nervous before going live with the video, but I received a massive amount of support on my first video, which I really appreciate. But then a friend of mine, that day that I released the video, came to me, and I think she bought flowers or something, and she was like, "Oh, friend, and it's a good friend of mine, and she still is, even though I'm going to tell you guys what happened now." So she came to me, she congratulated me, and she gave me flowers and all of those things. And then she said, as she was leaving, she's like, "Yeah, the video was great and everything, but it was giving like Cyril, as in Cyril, our president. It was giving Cyril." And then I said to her, "What do you mean it was giving Cyril?" She's like, "You were very, formal. It's almost like, when Cyril addresses the nation, you're very formal and like, stiff." I don't remember exactly how she described it, but she said, remember that she said it was giving Cyril. Guys, my heart sank. Like, I wanted to take that video down there and then, because it took so much for me to go live with that video. It took so many takes for me to finally have something that I was happy with. And for someone that I trust and that I love to be like, "Oh, the video is great, but it was actually giving Cyril. You need to loosen up a bit." And I was so hurt, guys. I was honestly so hurt. And at the time, I didn't respond. But later on, I had a conversation with her about it and about how it made me feel. And we spoke about it. We communicated. And she did apologize and obviously explained that she didn't mean it that way. And I understand that she didn't mean it that way. I just think when you don't know what a person had to fight and what a person had to overcome to get to the point where they can produce something, and what you say at that point, it's a very sensitive time. And I understand also where she's coming from, because she said that, "Friend, you've spoken so many times and you've hosted so many things like webinars and stuff, that I didn't think you would be offended by me making that comment. And I thought you'd take it as constructive criticism because this is your thing. You're good at it. You're great at it, you know. So I didn't think that you'd be offended because I thought you knew how good you were. But the honest truth is I didn't. I didn't know how good I was. In fact, I didn't think I was good at all. So anything that was said to me at that delicate point honestly was like, oh my God, it's over. My YouTube career is over. Maybe I should change it. And I'm just sharing that not to put anyone on blast because I'm not mentioning any names, but just to say that, you know, this is not easy. Starting something new is not easy. So if you do have someone around you who's starting something new, please make sure that you support them. Please make sure that you are very sensitive about all of these things that I've mentioned that they're going to go through, because we all go through them. And yes, we look at these people who articulate themselves, who do like public speaking and stuff, and we think they don't worry, they don't stress about perfection, they don't have insecurities. They do. We all do to a certain extent. I think it's just about conquering them. But I don't want the video to be long, so I'm not going to talk about the conquering portion. You let me know in the comment section if you want to know how I managed to conquer some of my fears that I have nervously shared with you today. But anyway, guys, oh yes. Oh my God, how can I forget? Guys, we have a new segment coming up, and I really hope you stay till the end of the video so you can hear this. But we've got a new segment coming up. I am starting a What Would Andy Do segment on the channel, and I'm going to be recording videos responding to some of your financial dramas, traumas, predicaments, issues, and telling you what I would do in your situation. So it's as simple as sending me a DM on Instagram. I am at Andisomo Japelo on Instagram, just like YouTube. You can send me your your story on Instagram, DM. You can put it in the comment section of any video that you watch, including this one. You can contact me on my email address that I will leave in the description box. Just send me your situation, you know, what you're going through. If you would like to know what I would do in your situation, I think it's going to be very, very informative. I think it's going to be encouraging as well, because in those videos, I will tell you what I would do in your situation, not necessarily telling you what you should do, but telling you what I would do if I was in your situation. And you can take from that what you would like to. And also people in the comment section can also add what they think they would do as well, or if they would do anything differently, or if they agree with the way that I'm handling the situation. I'm really excited about this one. I don't want to put any dates or frequency to it. It will depend on you guys and how often and how many questions or issues or scenarios that you send me that you would like me to tackle on the What Would Andy Do segment. I'm really excited about that segment, so please make sure that you send me all your feedback, your stories, your issues, whether it's something now or before, and even if it's something that a friend is going through and they've asked you for advice and you don't know what to do, send it to me. If it's money related, career related, relationship related, it doesn't have to be only money. It's going to be money and adulting. So it's a money and adulting segment that I'm really excited about, and I'm also excited to use this as an opportunity to engage with you guys and to let you guys in on how I deal with financial situations, career situations, and just overall life, to be honest. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I really appreciate you. As per usual, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. And if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing to this channel so I can see you in the next video. Bye, guys.